What's up, guys? Welcome to the show today. We're going to be going over a super fun topic for our Wednesday episode this week, and that is going to be Dynasty Sleepers for the 2024 NFL offseason. Some guys that are a little underrated right now that I definitely think can help your team moving forward into next season. Before we get going, if you have a chance, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Anything helps, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in. So first, to kick this show off, we're going to talk about one of my favorite players in the NFL, and that's going to be Rashid Shaheed, wide receiver for the Saints. Currently, KTC wide receiver 64. Now, I think what I like about Shaheed is that in his 2 years so far, he has improved each year. And what do I mean by that? So last couple years, right? Season 1, wide receiver 67, half-point PPR. Season 2, up to 42 in half-point PPR. And I think moving forward, I do think Rashid Shaheed could reach the 30s of finishes for wide receivers in 2024. And going at wide receiver 64 right now, I think that is a crazy good value. I really just think his potential to continue to get better as an NFL wide receiver is not being baked in to his current value. So what that means is I think he's going to find himself as the wide receiver 2 in the Saints team, maybe the wide receiver 3 if they draft someone, but his role is set as that deep guy. And yes, he's going to have some spike weeks, but if you're throwing him in there as your wide receiver 3, maybe one of your flex positions in one of these deeper dynasty leagues, I think you can play him more weeks than not as just a value play to try and win. Maybe you have a right matchup where the team you're playing against is better than you, and you need to throw someone like Shaheed in there. But he's just not very expensive to acquire right now. And I think he could pay dividends as a wide receiver 3, 4, kind of for your dynasty team, where he's kind of going as a wide receiver 5, 6 right now. Now, it is a minuscule leap, but I do think these kind of deals can show dividends for your team. Second one, going to be someone that we really have come to know as a fantasy starter over the last couple of years. His value is kind of just continued to drop due to his age, and that's going to be James Conner, running back for the Cardinals. Now, RB38, this is just pretty low for me. Yeah, mostly it is due to his age, but when it comes to James Conner, he's been a fairly significant fantasy producer when on the field. Now, what's holding him back is he has missed some games both of the last 2 years. Now, I think this wide receiver running back 5 season of 2021 is well behind us, and I really don't expect that kind of outcome. But I think these last 2 years are a pretty good gauge for what we can expect for James Conner. RB18, RB20, going as RB38. I think you get 1 to 2 more years out of James Conner, and you're really not paying much to go acquire him right now. You know, you could probably throw out some late seconds and get him. People are going to be jumping on some of these rookies, and you're probably going to get a starter out of him and a fairly high-end one when he is on the field, which, yes, he's not playing every week, but sometimes it's nice to know that when you do play someone, they are producing for your team. Third guy, someone who's going to start becoming a more popular name to talk about due to his recent contract. But Dalton Schultz, KTC tight end 19, just signed a 3-year deal with the Texans to be paired up with CJ Stroud, basically just cementing himself as a low-end tight end 1 for the next 3 years, as long as he is on the Texans. Why do I say that? Last year on the Texans, tight end 11, 10 in PPR, 15 games played. Pretty solid season. He had a pretty good year. And if you're getting him for tight end 19 right now, he's making about $10 million a year to come back for the Texans. And I think it's just fairly good to expect that. I mean, I think he's a cheap one if you have no depth at the tight end position and you're looking for a starter. But I would love this guy as my tight end too, someone who's at least tied to an elite offense who, you know, he's going to catch some touchdowns some week. He's not going to be the one on that team with Tank Dell and Nico Collins there. But these guys are pretty valuable. And for tight end 19, it's just a great price to go get Dalton Schultz right now. Last guy for today, short episode. How about Zay Jones, currently wide receiver 88 on KTC? This guy may potentially be on your waiver wire. Now, for Zay Jones, let's just forget about last year. He had that knee injury. He struggled. When he did play, he wasn't himself. But back in 2022, Zay Jones put up a top 26 season at wide receiver with a couple 3-touchdown weeks, really winning you some key games, especially coming down the stretch. Now, Calvin Ridley not expected to sign back in Jacksonville, so I think Zay Jones is going to find himself as probably the 3 again in that wide receiver core. I'd expect them to either add someone other than Ridley in free agency, maybe target someone in the draft. But I just think Zay Jones is a very good value right now who could add some startable weeks, very similar to my expectation for Shaheed, where he's probably just going to show more benefits than what you are playing to get him right now. You could probably go get Zay Jones for a pick swap and just move back a couple picks and get Zay Jones in the 3rd round or something. And if you're looking for some depth, or you're in one of those leagues where you're starting 10, 11, 12 players, those kind of moves do really help out and can kind of be a savior come the bye week. So this was a fast episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want to get this information out for you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Also, let me know some of your favorite sleepers for this offseason, whether guys on the waiver wire or some guys that you can go acquire cheaply. But thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Peace, y'all.